Morning. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Marvette Lacy. I work with doctoral students to finish their dissertations in 12 months or less. I am coming in really quickly to talk about, do you have the capacity to write? If you're watching a replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay. If you're listening on the podcast, send me a message. Let me know how it's going. Welcome everyone. So I want to talk about really quickly, because I got 20 minutes before my next call. Do you have the capacity to write? I'm going to define capacity in a minute. But usually folks come to me and they ask, how can I write more? How can I write faster? I try everything I know how to do. I feel stuck and I don't know how to move forward. And here's the thing that I want to caution you all against, a trap. Like we see this all the time on social media. Good morning, Kalia. We see this all the time where people, some version of, if you wanted to, you would. Now, usually people are talking about that in like relationships. But I'm sure in your program, in other spaces, you might hear someone say, well, if you really wanted it, you would do the things necessary. And that's very dangerous, y'all. It's a very dangerous thing, because we want to do all sorts of things, but wanting is not the only required ingredient to make a thing happen. You want to be a doctor. You want to write your dissertation. Wanting is not the issue here. Right? And I usually see students in two camps when they are having a hard time. They want to do it. So in their want, they usually first start off with, I'm going to try to do everything I know how, every strategy that I've ever learned in academia. So if that means I got to sit in front of my computer 8 hours a day, I'm sitting there 8 hours a day. If I got to read every article someone has ever sent to me that I find, that I'm going to read. If that means I got to take notes, right? You probably got, because this was me, I had notebooks. Now I'm telling on myself in my age, but I don't like, when I'm taking notes, I don't like to type them. I like to write them. So I had notebooks full of notes, right? I had pages, right? The number of students who come to me and they say, I have written this proposal. I've written this dissertation multiple times. I have turned in multiple drafts, astounds me, right? So it's not wanting. And in this case, the first scenario here is you're doing everything, but it's like the more you do, the further away you get from your goal of finishing a dissertation. And I can understand how frustrating that could be. And when you are taking all of this action, but not getting the progress you feel like you should be getting, it produces anxiety, right? Because you're like, I'm doing the things, it's not working, what's going on? And you're questioning and you're trying to question yourself. And it's just like you're going in circles. After a while, you will just say, fuck it, I'm not doing anything else. And this is the second camp of where I see students, where it's like you tried everything and it didn't work. And now you're at a loss and you don't know what to do. And so it's hopelessness, it's sadness. I don't know what to do. And usually that's when folks come and join the program. So let me take a pause because I feel like there's a celebration happening. I defended this morning. Okay, you just slid that in there. Writing the shitty sentences got me going every time. Congratulations. Absolutely, congratulations. I'm good. Let me make a note to follow up with you in DMs because I would love to know more. Thank you for sharing. Make sure I get your name right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to follow up. Thank you. So can anyone relate to being either like I did everything and or I'm at a loss. I don't know. Here's what we focus on inside of the Institute. For me, my main focus as a dissertation coach is helping you to increase your capacity to write. Because what I know is you do want it, but you don't have the capacity to do the things required to finish your dissertation. Capacity, how I define capacity is, do you have, I'm looking down at my notes so I don't go off. Do you have the time? Do you have the energy? Do you have the space? Like, here's something I used to think about. Y'all, like, back when I was 13 or 14 is where my anger really developed, right? And I'm from Chicago, okay? And so what you can't do, you just can't walk up into nobody's face and just start talking all reckless, right? Because you're going to get it back. And I was impeccable, okay, with the clap back. At 13 or 14, I don't know how it would handle me right now. I would resort to violence, right? But one of my favorite lines to say is like, pull up, because all we need is time, space, and opportunity. We don't need no words. I'm not going to keep doing words with you. We just need the time, space, and opportunity. We got to throw hands. We got to throw hands. When I'm thinking about capacity, that's where my brain is going. Do you have the time, space, and opportunity? But I'm going to switch these words slightly. Number one, do you have the time? Like, do you have the physical time on your calendar? Now, a lot of you are like, I got the time, girl. The time ain't the issue. I would make the time. I would stay up all night. I got the time. Okay. Do you have the physical time? Because that is important, because a lot of you don't have the time. You just think you have the time because you're so used to trying to do 50 million things at once. But do you have the physical free time? What I ask students is to block off 10 hours a week. If you're in the program, it's really blocking off somewhere between 6 to 8, but don't tell nobody. 10 sounds better from a marketing point of view. Block off 10 hours. Just block it off, right? You only need 10 hours a week for 12 months. I'm not talking about you sitting in front of your computer, though, for 10 hours. I'm saying, what does it look like to work, to produce for 10 hours a week? But that's a different conversation for a different day. First, do you have the time? I'm going to come back. No, I'm not. Space. When I think about space, I think about that in terms of, do you have energy? Do you have energy to do the thing? Like physical energy. You may have time, but did you eat today? Did you drink water? Have you been sleeping? Have you been moving your body? Have you been emptying out your brain? Do you have physical energy? Those things I just named is what I ask students to do inside the Institute every day. We call them the Scholar Basics. It's just something we strive to do each and every day to increase our energy. Those 5 basics, in case you need me to repeat them, is to drink at least 64 ounces of water a day. It's to sleep or rest 7 hours a day. It's to move your body, go for a walk, do some stretching, dance, turn on a TikTok video or something to move around. Emptying out your brain. Alex, or is it Alexa? I think it's Alexa because there's an A. Alexa, you said, how do you empty out your brain? You take a notebook.
According to an Alexa Answers contributor.
Alexa, yes. Stop. I didn't mean it, girl. I didn't mean it. I know I said your name. I didn't mean it. She trying to interrupt my conversation? Anyway, now I can't say your name, girl. Okay, on the thing, because this one listening. But what I do is take a sheet of paper, and I have a notebook that I got from Target, and I just put a line. I just put a rank, like whatever. You saw that come in, Kalia? I did not. I didn't even think about it. Lex is good. Okay. I just empty out like any thought that comes in my brain. I just fill a thought per line. Some of this says, I'm scared. It didn't work last time. It's been a year. What does it say? Where to focus your time to help you through these times. Like, I don't even know what that means. It's just random stuff. I just legit empty out my brain on the page. And I'm not doing anything with it. It's just a practice to do every morning. I know that I am much clearer when I do this every day. I know that my brain can take in more information when I empty it out. Sometimes it gets real dark up in here. We're not judging this. This is just to empty the brain out. Sometimes it ends up being a grocery list or a to-do list. But it's just to start off with a fresh brain. Good morning, Becoming Dr. Erin. I love y'all names. Y'all handles. Yes, welcome. We're talking about how do you increase your capacity to write. So capacity is, do you have the actual time on calendar, Do you have the energy? And I just shared with you the scholar basics. The last basic is writing a shitty paragraph. Now, I know some of y'all don't like my language of shitty. I understand. But I am trying to communicate to you the quality of the writing that I want you to do. People don't think I mean what I say. I mean exactly what I'm saying. I want you to focus on writing shitty paragraphs. Shitty, meaning you like, why did I put that on a page? Who's going to ever read this? Who would ever allow me to turn this in? If you're not having those thoughts, you're not writing it. It's not shitty enough. I'm saying you're looking at the paragraph and being like, can I even call this a paragraph? I put a bunch of words together. Yes. You want to put, because we can't do nothing without words being on a page. This is not about judging these words. It's not about trying to edit these words. It's not about trying to make them academic. I don't want to see not one citation. I feel like this needs to be a rule, because I used to say, just put the citation if it's top of mind. But then y'all started interpreting that as go look for the citation. No, just put words on the page. Citations come later. So those are the scholar basics for you to increase your energy, so you can actually physically show up and do the writing. So you got the time on your calendar, you got the physical energy. So we need the time, space, and opportunity. Instead of the word of opportunity, if y'all were here for earlier from the story, I'm going to switch opportunity for peace. Not peace, excuse me. Do you have the focus, the openness, and the peace is how I'm defining space. I done got turned around. Between Alexa and everything else, I done got turned around. Do you have the focus, the openness, and peace? Every time you come to a call inside of the Institute, one of the first things we do is we check in to see. I ask you, what is your level of focus, openness, and peace today? On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you define, or how would you rate those things? I also ask you to rate your level of how you're doing on your scholar basics. But for right now, this point of the conversation, I ask, what is your focus, openness, and peace? Focus. Right? You may have the time and energy to do the writing, but can you focus on writing right now? Is your life, like today on this Monday morning, you might have thought like, oh, I'm gonna get 30 minutes of writing in. But you're trying to get that 30 minutes of writing in when there's kids running around the house, a dog then got into the trash can, your phone keeps ringing, right now somebody at the front door. You can't focus with all that going on. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know your life. Or you decided, oh, I'm going to write on my lunch break at work, but then you got all these people in your office. Can you really focus? Focus means, can you have concentrated energy towards the task you're doing? Focus is also, do you know exactly what you're doing? Do you know the task you're going to do? You might know that, yeah, I'm going to write my literature review, but what part of the literature review? Like if you have 30 minutes to write, do you know exactly which section of the literature review you're going to work on? Do you know exactly how much you can produce in that 30-minute time? When we make a plan every Sunday, so we had a call last week, and I asked folks, give me 3 tasks that you can do in 2 hours or less each. That is helping them to focus, like create their focus for the week. So they know that when they are going to work throughout the week, they have these 3 tasks that they can go to. And the way we think about these 3 tasks is like, what can I produce? An example of a task would be, I'm going to write 1 shitty paragraph. I'm going to read this 1 article. I'm going to send an email to my chair to schedule a meeting with them. Those tasks are very clear about where they begin and where they end. Focus is about you getting very clear. Where y'all trip yourselves up is you write these to-do lists, but you write them like, oh, I'm going to work on literature review. Oh, I'm going to respond to edits. Oh, I'm going to talk to so-and-so. About what? You think that because on Monday morning you made a plan that it sounded clear on Monday, but you're not thinking about you 4 days from now. So Thursday night when you go to write, Thursday night you is not the same person as Monday night you. Thursday night you had a whole week of work. They tired. They over it. They low-key kind of don't want to do any of this. They can like throw the dissertation away. They're over it. And so then when you look at a to-do list that says respond to edits, work on the literature review, girl, I don't got no energy. I got no energy to try to figure out what you meant on Monday morning when you created this list. When y'all are creating or deciding what it is you're going to focus on, you need to be clear. So that's focus. Openness. You may know what to do. You may be like, I'm going to write a shitty paragraph about my theoretical framework. Are you willing to do that right now? Because you might be more like, no, I'm not open to it. I mean, I know I'm supposed to do it, but I would much rather clean my house. I would much rather do my laundry. I would much rather go hang out with my friends at happy hour. That's what I would much rather be doing. And my heart ain't in this. That's what I mean by, do you have the openness to do that? You might know exactly what to do, but you might like, girl, I don't. And this is different than motivation. Y'all might say it's motivation, and maybe I'll do that conversation tomorrow. Motivation is a lie. When I'm saying openness, it's like, are you willing to do the thing? Willing, not motivated. Are you willing? Are you committed to doing the thing? And then the last piece, which is peace. Have you accepted that the task is what it is, right? So if I go back to, I'm going to write a shitty paragraph about my theoretical framework. Right. Okay, so I know it's a paragraph. It's a shitty paragraph. I'm willing to do it. But have I accepted that it's going to be hard? That it's going to feel all over the place? That it's going to be tedious? That I'm going to think it doesn't sound academic enough? That I think it's going to be the worst thing I've ever written? Are you accepting that that is what it's going to be? Y'all, I don't know who told you that this wasn't supposed to be hard, but welcome. Welcome. This is what it means to become a doctor and to become an expert. You learn to make friends with things that are hard and challenging. I know you don't have much practice with it because school came real easy for you. But the more that you can make friends with things being challenging and hard, the further you will go, friend. It's going to be hard. It's going to be boring. It's going to be tedious. Something you will hear me say often is, I want you to write a boring, basic dissertation. What I'm saying is, I want you to be willing to show up week after week for 10 hours and do the boring, basic tasks that will get you there. So let me recap. In order to have the capacity to write, you need the time, energy, and space to do so. You need the physical time on your calendar. You need the physical energy. Can your body do this? And you need the space, which is focus, openness, and peace. Focus is, I know exactly what I'm doing. Openness is, I'm willing to do it. And peace is, I accept it emotionally, how it's going to feel to do this thing. The too long don't read of this is, in order to write more, in order to finish a dissertation, you got to be willing to put in the reps. You got to be willing to do as many boring, basic, tedious tasks that it takes. Boring and basic tasks, writing shitty paragraphs, editing those shitty paragraphs, turning in those shitty paragraphs, being willing to receive the feedback that's coming because they were shitty paragraphs, and being willing to repeat that over and over and over until you are doctor. The final thing I'll leave you with is, are you willing to rewrite every chapter at least 5 times, if that means you become doctor? You think that it has to take you a long time to rewrite everything 5 times. What if it's just a matter of you having the time, space, and energy to rewrite it 5 times? Because you could rewrite it 5 times in a month, or you could space it out over 2 years. But it's more about, are you willing to accept? It's going to be hard. Yes, it doesn't feel good when people give you feedback to say, change this isn't clear, do this part over. But it's the writing process, y'all. Those who embrace that it's writing, it's going to suck. I'm not going to like it, but I'm willing to do it anyway. And I'm going to get to the other side. And I'm going to be able to, look at this amazing dissertation. Look at me. Call me doctor, bitch. That's where I want you to get. Okay, y'all, I have to go help a student who's preparing for their dissertation defense. I'll try to come back. Please put your questions down below. I hope this helped you in writing. And I do want to keep the conversation going. And I do want to respond to one of my other posts, because I didn't realize, y'all, the conversation was getting heated. All right. Have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.